Hey everybody, Mark Dawes here, and these are my 11 training tips to help you run a more successful and enjoyable training course in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Right, tip number 1, make sure you arrive early to set the room out and check your equipment. There is nothing worse for a delegate to turn up on a course when the trainers are still setting up. It shows unprofessionalism. So get there early, if need be the day before. Check the layout of the room, make sure you're happy with it, check your audio, check your visuals, check your equipment, and make sure that all your paperwork is in order. If you're arriving on the day of the course, then I suggest you arrive at least an hour and a half to 2 hours before the course starts to make sure that everything is set up prior to delegates arriving, because some of them will arrive early. Tip number 2, you're never going to get a second chance to make a first impression. So make sure you are smart. Simple things. If you're wearing a suit, make sure your shoes are clean. If you're running a physical skills course, then make sure that you and all your trainers are dressed in a uniform way. Honestly, it counts for a lot, because when those learners arrive, they want to see that you actually know what you're talking about, and uniformity and smartness are one way of creating not only an initial but a lasting impression. Tip number 3, when your learners arrive, take the initiative and walk up to them and greet them. Shake their hands, welcome them, be warm and be friendly. Remember, many of your learners may have had a bad experience on a previous training course, so therefore if they haven't trained with you before, they're stepping into the unknown. So making them feel welcome, having a little bit of a laugh and a banter with them is absolutely critical into building rapport, because the better your rapport with your learners, the more benefit they will gain from the course and a better experience you will have as a trainer. Tip number 4, music. Have music playing when your learners arrive into the classroom or the training area. Music is a great mood changer, and it's one way of actually making people feel comfortable. So choose your music tracks carefully, put them into a playlist and put them on your USB stick or your laptop or your iPod, whatever you have, and have about an hour's run of music on there, because people will arrive early and then you may be delayed with some people arriving late. So either having the music looped or having it run continuously for about an hour is a great way of making people feel comfortable. Tip number 5, you've got some people have arrived and they're sat down, and other people are still arriving, and there's some people may arrive late. So you've got a dead zone. You've got people waiting to start while others are still arriving. Here's what you do. Walk around the tables and talk to the delegates. Introduce one delegate to another. If a new person comes in and sits at a table, introduce them to the people around the table. You go and find out why they've come to the training course, have a conversation with them, have a bit of banter with them, have a laugh, crack a joke, make them feel comfortable. The more that you invest in doing this, the better. And if you've got a training team with you, brief your team to do the same. So while one person may be signing people in, your other trainers are going around having a chat with people at the tables, making them feel comfortable. Tip number 6. Have a seating plan drawn up on a piece of paper. It only needs to be rough. It doesn't have to be perfect. But on there, show where each table is and how many chairs are around each table. Then when your learners arrive and you've met them and you've introduced yourself to them and you know their name, watch where they sit and write their name on the seating plan as to where they're sitting, and keep that on your desk. That way, as you start the course, you can refer to people by name. You can look at someone sat over there and actually say, and John, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And Mary, could you do this? And they will be absolutely blown away because you've remembered their names. And people have come up to me time and time again on courses and said, how do you remember all our names? It's absolutely brilliant that you do that, because it makes the learning experience for them more personal. And all it takes is a bit of paper with a seating plan where you write their names down as to where they're sitting in the classroom. Okay, tip number 7. You're about to start the course. Your learners are all sat there and you're good to go. Here's what you do. Start the course with a video, a motivational or an inspirational video, or something that's either related to what you're teaching or indirectly related to what you're teaching, but something that's going to grab their attention. Remember, lots of people go on training courses and they get the same old boring stuff. So they're expecting a boring introduction. They're expecting you to introduce yourself. You're expecting them to introduce themselves. And by the way, they sit there sometimes worrying sick about having to introduce themselves. Start the course with a video. blow their minds, capture their attention. It reaps dividends. Tip number 8, introductions. I've just mentioned to you that most people there will be dreading giving an introduction. So here's what we do. We introduce ourselves, we make it light, we're very much self-deprecating to actually make them realise that we're human. And then we'll say, right, for those of you that like to introduce yourselves, please feel free to do so. For those of you that don't, you don't need to. We'll get to know you as the course goes on, because you've got their names on a seating plan, so you can refer to them by name, and you can actually ask them what they do later on as you've got into the course. So I know that goes against the grain for what most people actually do, because they expect introductions, they want to know, who everyone else is. But if there's people sitting there who are not comfortable about being on a course and introducing themselves, don't make them. We don't do it, and it works absolutely brilliantly. Tip number 9, be prepared to change the order, sequence and flow of what you're teaching. Now I know historically we're all taught to have lesson plans and to stick to a rigid format for doing stuff, but hey, that bores the crap out of people. Move things around, shake it up a little bit. You can do that. If someone asks a question, then incorporate that into the actual training itself. Now what we do is we have a 5-minute brief. So when we finish one session, say we start at 9 o'clock in the morning and we finish at 10:30 for break, then all the learners will go off for their tea and coffee. My trainers and I will meet and we'll say, right, where are we now? What are we doing? What should we do next? So our training never sticks to plan. At the end of the course, we've achieved all the aims and objectives, but we shake things up a little bit and move things around. It makes the training much more interesting, much more dynamic. The learners absolutely love it. And for us as trainers, it makes it much more enjoyable too. So, don't be scared to shake things up a little bit. Don't be scared to move off plot. Trust me, it works. Okay, tip number 10. Dead simple, this one. Respond to your learners' needs without waiting to be asked. For example, if you see someone blinking because sunlight is coming through a window and it's directly in their face, close the curtain for them, or close the blind, or ask if they'd like to move. If you see someone putting on a jumper or a coat because they're too cold, turn the heating up. If you can't turn the heating up, give them a break while you go and find out who can turn the heating up. And obviously if they're too hot, open a window or ask them to open a window. Be sensitive to your learners' needs. Don't wait for them to ask you. Again, it's about building rapport. It's all about the learning experience, and all these things go a long way into making the course more valuable to your learner, and therefore a better learning experience for them and a better teaching experience for you. Okay, tip number 11, dead simple this. Be a human being. Be humane. You're dealing with human beings, so be nice, be compassionate, be caring, but have fun. Training should be fun. Evidence and research shows that when people have an enjoyable experience, they learn more from it. So make it enjoyable, make it fun, be self-deprecating, build a relationship with the people you're learning with. That's the key thing, really. I mean, everything I've told you so far, all the tips I've given you so far come to one basic point. And that is about building a rapport and a relationship with the people who've actually invested their time and their money to come and learn with you. So be a good trainer, be a nice person, care about the people you train about, interact with them, have fun, and give them the best learning experience you can. And don't be scared to think outside the box and be creative. In fact, I urge you to think outside the box and be creative. Well, I hope you found those training tips useful, and if you'd like to see and hear more from me, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the button either somewhere on this video or below. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.